Well, g'day champions, and welcome to the first episode of Angling Untangled. I'm Louis and I hope you're doing well. We're going to kick things off by jumping in the kayak and chasing the humble yellowfin bream. It's looking at primo, let's get into it. And we are off. And just got a short little cruise down towards the first little stretch where a fish is. So I'm just going to take a minute to introduce the channel and kind of explain what to expect out of this little passion project of mine. And obviously we're going to try and catch some fish. And I'm not really picky about how I do it. We're in the kayak today and we're going to be throwing some lures, but there's going to be plenty of bait fishing and plenty of land-based as well. Love my beach fishing and rock, and we'll get up into the freshwater too. So yeah, catching fish, that's the mission. But what I also really want to do is just kind of make it as informative as possible for anyone who's kind of just picking up the sport or wants to use a different technique or pick up a different species. So I'll be doing that where I can, passing on my knowledge, but I am by no means a master angler, so you'll be coming along on missions where I'm absolutely flying blind as well, but it should all be pretty fun. So with all that being said, what's the game plan for today? Well, we're going to be chasing some yellowfin bream in the creeks here, casting the mangrove edges and up along all these beautiful snags you see. And this may be a two-parter, but definitely I want to just focus on one style, and that is something I've fallen in love with in the last couple of years, and that is using bream cranks. All right, and here we are. So all we're going to be doing today is focusing on these creek edges and casting in as close to the bank and as close to any of these snags and things you see up in front as possible. And it's quite a shallow drop off over here. It only goes down to about 1.5 meters out where I am now. And because of that, we're just going to be using a shallow diving crankbait. And this is the Hurricane Lures Fat 37. And it's become one of my favorite bream cranks at the moment. I'll show off a few of my other favorites a bit later in the colors I like. But all we're going to be doing is casting in as close to the bank as possible and doing a slow wind, and there was a hit straight away. But that's it, just a slow roll, doesn't get any easier. And you just want to be casting, winding as slow as you can to get that lure doing its action. And so you'll notice that by your rod just doing a little jiggle. And that's it. There we go, got him. Oh, and he's not a bad one. Just like that. Ah, he's only little. He's had a bit of heart. But it is dead set that simple. Such fun fishing. Come here, bud. So he'd be a legal fish. So there we go. There's our first fish of the day. And that's only about 10 casts into it. Nice little legal fish. But I'm sure we'll get a couple bigger. And I'm a massive fan of scent on my lures. And I've tried out a few, but I reckon the S-Factor is by far my favourite for bream. It just always worked well for me, so I just like to put on a little dab every dozen casts or so, or after every fish is a good practice as well. We have got absolutely primo conditions this morning. What I'm generally looking for these creek bream is a rising tide. And there's another little one. but they love coming up into these mangrove roots and the edges and smashing prawns and crabs and things like that. So the top half of the tide is by far my favourite. And we've also got a slightly overcast day, which tends to bring the bite, extend the bite past the dawn and dusk periods. And there's a little fella. Cute, but yeah, just how simple and effective these bream cranks are. Hopefully we get a couple a bit bigger. And so it's pretty important to have accurate casting, because you want your lure as close to the bank or as close to structure as possible. So all I'm doing is just breaking the line with my opposite hand as it gets in close to where I want it to land. And that way you can get it in right close to the edge. Ooh. Bream or flathead? I really think the way it took that, this might be a flathead. Oh no. Alright. We've probably got our best bream of the day so far. Come on, buddy. Yeah, he's getting a bit better. There we go. So that is dead set how simple these bream cranks are to use. Just cast into the bank and a slow roll. And there we go. He'd be a well and truly legal fish, probably around that 27, 28 mark. And there he goes. So we got a couple nice bream fishing that Hurricane Fat 37 along this shallow margin here. But I just want to change things over and start fishing against this deeper edge. So all I'm going to do is swap over to a deep diving crank. But I just thought I'd kind of show the lures and colours that I like to use in here at the moment. And so what we've got over this side, these are Pro Lures, Aussie company. They go really well. They do a fantastic black one as well. This is the Atomic, I think it's the Ghost Brown Shrimp, and that's my other favourite for down in this creek. It's been pretty dynamite. These ones here are Fishcraft, and these tend to be in the bargain bin at the local fishing shop, but they have gone all right, so they're one to watch out for. But you do tend to get what you pay for in terms of lures. If you can fork out the cash for an Atomic or a Pro Lure, or even a Jackall Chubby, which I'm about to chuck on, as well as Daiwa have a new bream crank out, which I'm sure would be absolutely dynamite. It's worth spending the extra coin. You know, you can look at them and think, oh, it's a bit of plastic and they look basically the same in the water, but I've kind of done a bit of testing where this is a Savage Lure little bream crank, which would be about the cheapest of the bunch here, and I had I believe it was an Atomic in about the exact same pattern and was doing really well on it, and decided to throw this on and noticed that I was getting much fewer bites. So you do actually get what you pay for. In saying that, these Ecoda ones, they're usually pretty cheap as well, and I found it's gone pretty good. You'll notice it's all pretty natural colors except for the jet black ones, and I reckon that's the go. You tend to want to match kind of the water color or the environment that it's in, so that's why I reckon this one's also gone really well in here, because it matches that dirty water. But anyways, I'm going to keep up with the black presentation and chuck on this Jackall Chubby with a nice little bit of orange on it. There we go, we're on. Only another little bugger. Oh, he's got some friends with him. Hope you can see that. They're trying to take it out of his mouth. One's still there. And they've gone. Alright, let's get him in the net. Come on, buddy, up you come. Oh, he's cooked it. He's cooked it. There we go. Nice. So there's first one on the deep diver, fishing that deep edge. And he's not a bad fish. He's going to be that upper 20s and pinned with both hooks. That's that Jackall Chubby. Beautiful fish. And I'll just run through the gear I'm using real quick. So this is a little 1000 size reel, and I've got that matched with a 7'2", 2 to 4 kilo rod. And I've got that spooled up with 6 pound braid and about 4 meters of 4 pound fluorocarbon leader. And this is my ideal brim setup, brim and whiting basically. And if you wanted a bit more of an all-rounder, I'd suggest just going up to about a 2000 to 1500 size reel and spooling it with 8 pound braid and 8 pound fluoro all the way through. And that's just going to cover a few more bases for you. You'll be able to target flatty and bass pretty comfortably as well. But the 6 pound braid just will give a little bit better castability, and the 4 pound fluorocarbon is just a little bit more invisible underwater for any leader shy brim. But for a very long time I just used 8 pound all the way through, and you definitely still catch fish. And the knots I'm running are a FG knot for the joiner knot, and that's a great little knot because it's such a slim profile, and that's what allows me to have that 4 meters of leader that I can wind down on the reel. If you use one of the clunkier kind of joiner knots, such as the improved Albright or something like that, then you'll tend to find that it picks up line as it's coming off the reel, and you'll get pretty bad wind knots. Oh, there was a little touch. And my knots down at the lure will generally always be a uni knot. I may use a loop knot in certain situations just to let a lure get a bit more action, but 90% of the time it's just going to be a straight uni knot. I'm just going to keep working up this edge, just doing that exact same retrieve, the good old slow roll, letting the fish hook themselves. The sun's come out now and it's quite bright and it's up near its peak, so I'm just going to be focusing on any shady patches next to the bank here like that, and that's where the fish are going to be holed up. Oh, and we got him, just like that. That is a flathead, I do believe. No, we've got a brim. And he's probably going to be best one of the day. So far anyways. He's still only that. He might be scratching the 30 centimetre mark, this one. We'll put him on the measure. If we get him in the net, there we go. Beautiful. Oh, fella, whoa, whoa, whoa. Actually, oh, there you go, he spat the hook. So let's give you a look at him. Yeah, he might be cracking 30, but he's just a very healthy fish, nice and fat. I'll quickly get him on the measure, I'm curious. So yeah, that's a 29 centimetre brim right there. So nothing too monstrous, but geez, they're fun to catch at all sizes. And off he goes. Well, look at that poor unlucky little bugger. Spewing. Sorry, bud. Baby mullet from the looks of things. got a fish just as I was steering. There you go, another little one in the bag. He took me off guard. Come here, little fella. Just like that, he's off. So let's give you a quick look and we'll get him back. But it is dead set, simple, enjoyable fishing. Now they'd be legal right around that 25, 26 mark. Lovely. And off he goes. And while this is my forte for using brim cranks, I really do love them in these creek environments, casting to the bank. They're pretty versatile and you can use them in a bunch of different places. I'll definitely, oh, that was a little hit. I'll definitely show that off in future videos, but if you don't have access to a kayak or you or a bit of riverbank that you can walk, they also go fantastic fishing along jetty pylons and under boat holes and things like that, as well as just over the top of shallow divers, over the top of weedy flats has become, oh, there was another little hit, has become real. There we go, there's a better one. That's a much better one. Actually, let's see. Come here, buddy. Come on, buddy. Jeez, that run. Absolutely smoked it. Come on, mate. Come on. Oh, getting sprayed. He's not done yet, and we've got him. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But as I was saying, there's plenty of different times and places you can use these brim cranks. And there we have a very healthy creek brim. Absolutely smashed that Jackall Chubby. And what a top fight. Rightio. I'll unhook him, give him a measure, and then we'll say goodbye. So there we go. That one's just shy of 34 centimeters right there. You can see he's got a tiny little bit of that saddleback syndrome, which is just a genetic deformity. But what a gorgeous looking fish. Anyways, let's give him a good swim and then get him back. And off he goes. Thanks for playing. Well, that is gonna do it for this first little mission, and it's been a pretty fun one. We would have got well over a dozen fish with a couple nice ones thrown in there as well. And if you've never picked up brim cranks before, I hope I've inspired you and led you in the right direction to do it, and it is just so satisfying when they're on. Anyways, look, you can like and subscribe if you want to be notified of future content, which should be coming out pretty soon. And you can leave a comment as well if I've glanced over anything or if you have any feedback, because I'll be making sure to check those out. Anyways, peace out, catch you next time.